Painkillers now kill more Americans than any illegal drug. Really?
Here's a scary fact. In 2014, 47,000 Americans died from drug overdose.
It's actually really... I want to say it's not surprising. I mean, that's pretty surprising, but painkillers fuck you up, like, really hard. I don't think people realize how absolutely insanely fucking crazy addictive some of these fucking, like, Vicodin and the hydrocodone shit and all that. Like, and people do these fucking painkillers, get fucked. People do these painkillers and get addicted as fuck on these things. Even House got addicted to painkillers.
That's a new record. Studies also show that states with medical marijuana dispensaries tend to have fewer opiate overdose deaths. In the best study done so far, the research said that providing broader access to medical marijuana may have the potential benefit of reducing abuse of highly addictive painkillers.
I mean, I wouldn't say that medical marijuana is like the only option for dealing with opioids, but right now doctors are in a really bad position. They want to treat pain as like a serious medical issue. The drugs that they were relying on, opioids, have caused this massive, very urgent crisis. And marijuana, it might not be the perfect solution, it won't work for everyone, but at least it's something to go on right now.
I'm not a medical professional, so nothing that I say is valid in the realms of medical shit. If there's anybody that medical shit that disagrees with me, feel for it. But I feel like, don't you think that treating pain is kind of like a really bad idea? I mean, your body feels pain for a reason. Like, don't you think it's better to address the underlying causes, and that if you treat the pain, you get rid of the incentive for somebody to do that? That sounds kind of like a really fucked up thing to say, especially since I'm apparently a crazy socialist, Bernie bro or whatever, who doesn't believe in motivation or anything at all, according to chat. But like if somebody has these kinds of chronic pains that are a result of either a lack of physical activity or overweight, bad diet, and you have that pain there that your body gives you, isn't that pain kind of, if not a motivating factor, at least a deterrent from continuing on whatever lifestyle you currently have that's giving you that pain? And if you just ease the pain, wouldn't they just continue on like a pretty self-destructive path? Like, yeah, so I see a lot of people are saying this is for people after surgery, but that sounds like when Trump says he's going to get rid of the EPA with it has an annual budget of $8 billion to fix our whatever $1 trillion deficit. That guy said that 100 million people in the United States have chronic pain. So are we going to make the argument in chat that every 100 million people in the United States had serious surgeries that cause chronic pain? Is that how many people United States chronic pain? Didn't you take painkillers when you fucked your back or legs or whatever from working out? I never ever take painkillers. But I don't know. I think I have a fairly high tolerance for stuff, and I'm not like an anti-medical guy, but if I can avoid taking drugs, I won't. I still have the full bottle of the hydrocodone shit when I got my wisdom teeth removed. I still have all 15 pills. I never took it then. I'm not a big I don't know, I'm not big on that. Yeah, 100 million Americans have chronic pain. I seriously doubt that 100 million people all broke their back and now they have to be on these drugs. It's not real shit. It's, what do they call it? It's some bullshit meme that they give you. Fuck, I don't remember. It's not Percocet. It's where they mix it's like 900 parts ibuprofen and like 1 part hydrocodone. What's it called? I don't remember what it's called. It's some bullshit. Someone in chat will know it. I said Minafine and hydrocodone. Yeah, but there's like a name for it. There's like a name when they mix it. Fuck, I don't know what it's called. All right, I don't care. There's like a name for this when they mix these two things. They'll give you a greater part like acetaminophen and then a small part hydrocodone. There's like a name for this mixture. Or there are like drugs that have names. I don't remember what it's fucking called though. Oh, Norco. Yeah, 5325. This shit. I think. Norco. I think it's this. I mean, I could go get the bottle until I see. It's not Vicodin. It's fuck off. Kill yourselves. Destiny, I could be wrong, but it seems like there was nothing that could change in his lifestyle and all that shit. So like he needs pain killing. Well, I mean, like there's a lot of like people. Destiny, we don't have treatments for everything. Oh, whoa! I almost read a Dune bug message. That was close. The issue is in black and white. Someone need it, some don't. Like if people fuck up their meniscus or their joints in general, they might need it a lot of the time. People ask for it for shitty reasons and they don't. I had to guess. Oh yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it seems like there's a decent amount of things that could be fixed via like rehab and shit. Or like doing things like getting a better diet and doing a little bit of exercise seems like it could help a lot. But the problem is it's much easier to prescribe like a pain medication. Does that make sense? Vicodin and Norco are pretty much the same thing? What? Vicodin is a totally different kind of drug, isn't it? Am I totally wrong? I think I spelled this wrong. I don't even know how to spell this fucking shit. Wait, how did I spell it the first time? Vicodin.
Truly, this is the dankest dungeon.
Bivette, lose a leg and arm. Can't get a painkiller because it doesn't fix my lost limbs. I can still feel them. It's so real. The phantom pain. The fellas.
What the fuck? Vicodin. Oh, there we go. Oh, never mind. Holy shit, you're totally right. I thought the Vicodin was a totally different thing. My bad. You're right. Oh, I guess maybe it is, but it wasn't called Vicodin because I don't think my thing was called Vicodin because it's much smaller parts. It's greater parts acetaminophen and less parts hydrocodone. I don't know what the strengths of this shit is or how this works, but there's no argument against the overprescription of painkillers. They're also very heavily marketed to doctors. It's pretty absurd. Yeah. Destiny, you can make the exact same arguments against antidepressants. Sometimes you just need a bump to help you over the hump. No, oh god, fuck me. What? No, that's not true at all. Okay, I don't want to get into this argument with chat. Never mind. I don't want to get into this argument with chat. I don't want to do this. I remember reading a very, very sad write-up. It was there was some write-up on Reddit where some guy posted something, and he was like, the pharmaceuticals are just there to fuck you up, and doctors prescribe all these horrible things because they get paid or whatever. And then some guy responded, and he was like, do you really honestly believe this? Because I don't want to waste my time with your fucking autism if you don't honestly think this. And the guy responded, was like, yeah, I honestly think this. And then the doctor wrote, and then it was a doctor, and he wrote like fucking 3 pages of fucking smashing this dude into the ground. And like one of the really sad things is that a lot of what the doctor said seemed to boil down to, like, he said it was something like a ton of patients that come into his office, he'll recommend, like, hey, if you do diet and exercise, it'll help you with these conditions. And in reality, he was saying that like the majority of a lot of these conditions that people were having would be helped by diet and exercise. But as a doctor, he can't just say diet and exercise to every single person that comes into his office, because they're going to leave and then they'll just go to doctors that will prescribe drugs to fix their problems, because people don't want to actually do the diet and exercise thing. I think that things like fat are it's really crazy interesting, in my opinion. Like, fat on the human body is actually one of the craziest things in the world, because it's something that, like, going through, like, everything that our body does can be traced back usually to some sort of evolutionary function, the large majority of things, right? Because, you know, we have different traits or whatever because, you know, natural selection selects for these random mutations that give us advantages over other creatures. But never in like all the history of humankind was there ever a point to deal with fat, right? Because as hunters and gatherers and shit, you don't get fat because you have to keep hunting and moving and all that. So there's like absolutely nothing in all of our DNA to deal with excess fat ever. We just store it and store it and store it forever, and there's no anything in the body to deal with it at all, which is kind of an interesting, which is why you see, I think there are so many problems that come from obesity, which is now widespread over the entire Western world. You get so many problems that come as a result of this, and the body has absolutely no way of dealing with it whatsoever. There are no mechanisms in the body for dealing with an excess storage of fat. Like, Dustin, it's completely about preventative medicine and the fact that the U.S. doesn't seem to give a singular shit about it. People would rather go to the ER than go to a physical annually. It's one of the biggest reasons the U.S. pays so much for healthcare. Well, yeah, but it's not just preventative medicine. Like, preventative medicine isn't even the biggest preventative things. Like, things like diet and exercise are more preventative than any medicine will ever be, right? You could argue that's part of medicine, right? But things like, like jogging every day or, going and working out and doing things and having like a decent diet, so that you don't get, largely overweight. Like, these are things that have hugely predictive powers on your lifespan and how healthy you'll be in the later years of your life and whatnot. Our doctors push medicine so hard. I try to mention physical therapy or weight loss / diet changes, and they attempt to shit on me because I'm not a doctor. That's actually kind of funny. I've had a weird back pain. I thought it was a herniated disc for a long time, and I went to the hospital. Finally, I finally got a doctor appointment like a couple weeks ago. But like a month ago, I tried calling a lady and I said, hey, like I had really bad back pain and I was trying to set up a doctor appointment. She's like, oh, well, do you have a script or anything? And I was like, no, I don't have any prescriptions at all. I just wanted to talk to a doctor about it. She's like, oh, well, you need to get like a prescription or whatever, and then you can use our pharmacy. It's like, well, no, I don't really want a prescription. I just wanted to see like if anything. And she like was really heavily trying to push me towards getting a prescription for back pain. I had no idea why. Yeah, it was really weird. I actually saw a doctor finally about it. He said he didn't think it was a slipped disc. He said that he thought that it was just a really inflamed muscle or whatever, and that if I worked it would be fine, which is interesting because now that I backed off all the weight on my exercises, and now I just do like really lightweight for a lot of reps, and my back actually feels better, which is kind of a relief because I thought I was going to have my back destroyed for my entire fucking life. But yeah, that was a very strange conversation. Oh, yeah, and I also asked her, because I was going to ask her about getting a blood test for the testosterone stuff just because I was curious, and she kept trying to push me towards a lady that specialized in low-T men's health or whatever, but I didn't want to go to one of those places. I wanted to go to a real hospital and get a blood test done by a party that doesn't sell, TRT. Like, I want to get a third party, but she kept pushing me towards the other lady. That was a very strange phone call. What happened to the AIDS thing in your eye? I have something that causes my if I don't I have to wash my eye with like a shampoo, I guess like the eyelid, so that the ducts don't get clogged, because if they get clogged then the quality of the tears is really bad, and then when I blink it irritates my eye, I guess. So that was just like a thing. That was just a thing I needed to take care of, or a thing that I never knew. Oh wow, what's up, buddy?
Hey man, how are you?
Pretty good. How's the Stolen Valor treating you?
That's all right. Is that what is there a military question you have?
No, why would there be a military question?
You messaged me last time when you had a military question. You messaged me this time.
Well, that's because I thought we were going to play The Division together.
Oh, I would like that, but I also wanted to meme a little bit about the drug conversation you're having.
Oh shit. Okay.
So back in when I got out of the military, right?
Mm-hmm.
I stopped working out as much. I got out in 2010. I'm sorry, I got out in 2011, and in the end of 2011, I really just stopped working out, right? And this lasted for a few years, and I started to lose focus. So I go to Afghanistan. I'm doing a job that I'm able to just do. It's IT in a setup environment it's fucking repetitive, right? So I don't have an issue with it.
Okay.
But once I got back, I had a completely different job. I started doing development and things that just started pulling my attention in a lot of different ways. And I realized I was having a lot of trouble focusing. I was missing deadlines. I wasn't, making it to places on time. It was just, my mind wasn't there the way it should be. And so I went to a psychologist or psychiatrist, I'm sorry. And he diagnosed me. He's like, I think you have ADHD, after we just talked about everything. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't, I didn't go there saying, hey, I need Adderall. But I was just like, I'm having these issues. So we took the TOVA test. And I don't know the exact. Do you know what the TOVA test is?
Never heard of it in my entire life.
All right. So you sit in front of a computer screen and you've got this clicker, right? And you have different instructions. There are 3 segments. You have these instructions. And you're supposed to click based on a certain whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So it'll say, when the box is above and it's black, above this line and it's black, click. And what it's doing is it's testing your focus after a certain amount of time.
I've taken one of these before. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I fucking on the scale of wherever the fuck ADHD is, I was, right there. Mm-hmm. I actually still have my results in my car somewhere. I think it's in my glove box. But anyway, so he does that. And this guy was a prescribed drugs before lifestyle change, right?
Okay.
So he prescribes Adderall, and I tell you what, man, I never worked so hard in my life. I stayed at work until 9 o'clock on many a weeknight, despite having a 2-hour drive home. It felt good, like I was getting things done. But anyway, what I eventually realized is that it was my diet and exercise. So I go to another doctor to get my prescription filled, and then I go through a bunch of issues I'm having. And one of the things I'm like, hey, is a lot of this like because of my diet and all that? And he is like, yeah. If you started going to the gym, he asked what I ate, and I told him just complete garbage, fast food twice a day, usually something fried at night. And he suggested all that. And so that's actually why I'm working out now, is because near the end of 2014, beginning of 2015, I was getting off-brand Adderall, the generic brand, because it's $200 even with a insurance.
I heard ADHD
so I was getting the
is a
generic,
side
so it was only
effect
$10
of
with
stolen
insurance.
valor, Peppy.
And the place that I went, they had the brand of off-brand changed, and the formula was different. And I started having like really bad mood swings and shit. You remember that whole fiasco of what do you call it? The where I set up the Patreon and everyone went to shit about.
Oh yeah, sure.
That happened in the middle of a mood swing. Like I had that, dude. That was a fucking rough day. I wanted to quit esports like then in that moment. I've never wanted to quit anything, but that moment I was fucking rustled. And so anyway, I stopped taking it and I felt better. But now that I'm working out again and I'm eating healthy and all that stuff, it changes a lot. Like it does change your mentality. And I realized that even in the Marine Corps, I had some focus issues, but they were well managed because I was always eating healthy. I was always working out. I always had structure to my life. And then when I lost that structure and I stopped taking care of myself, this is a really long story of just saying, yeah, absolutely. Diet completely changed it. My happiness went to hell. I don't think I was ever really depressed, but I definitely wasn't as happy as I used to be when I was working out all the time.
Wow.
So yeah, completely agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I'm just making like a general observation. I'm not trying to say that like every single person that has ADHD needs to drop their things, or like if you're depressed, you need to get rid of your SSRIs and you just need to be all natural. I just think that I'm just talking specifically. I don't know, dude. My grandma abused the fuck out of painkillers, and watching her bounce from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor was fucking disgusting. And she always had some sort of chronic pain. Always, but like she smoked 24/7. She never did any kind of physical activity. Her diet, she drank like her diet consisted of 2 packs a day of cigarettes and then like 12 Pepsis, and like that was it. Like yeah, like she just like, of course you're fucking destroying your fucking body. Like what do you expect? And then people go to a hospital and then they give them like painkillers just to manage the pain, and it's like, dog, you need that pain. That pain is fucking telling you something. Like holy shit. The pain,
yeah.
And you need the pain. Pain makes you feel alive, right? Like I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I like I don't know. I guess I'm kind of weird to some respects. Like I feel like I mean, especially now that I'm working out, like I don't know. I would feel weird taking like a painkiller. Like I feel like the pain communicates things to you that your body is trying to tell you. So I think that I don't know, like just like taking a painkiller to shut that down. Maybe I would feel differently if I had some sort of like extreme chronic pain. Maybe I would feel differently, but.
I have so I don't think that I know anyone or have heard of any stories where people just actively said, you know what, I'm going through shit in my life, I'm going to try a drug, right? The people that I know that are relatively close to me that have had issues with heroin addiction or pill addiction, it started with pills.
Yes. A lot of people don't fucking realize that a lot of people that get hooked on fucking painkillers, it's not because they went out on the fucking street looking to fucking shoot up heroin, but they get addicted on them on prescriptions first.
Yeah,
that's a huge fucking issue. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude that I know that from the family, he was in a car accident, broke his leg or in his collarbone or something like that, and he was on painkillers. And then it just went, this group, him and his sister and 2 other brothers, like they were rowdy, kids, like they weren't bad people, right? But they were just, troublemaking teenagers. And when he gets in the car accident, he gets hooked to the pills. And then it just went from there to heroin, and he was the ringleader. So then just the brother and sister followed suit, and it destroyed their lives. They're still fighting, in and out of jail, battling addiction. They get clean for X amount of time. Right now, they're all clean, but that only lasts a matter of time for some people.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's so this kid, I think I might have told you this story before. This kid. back home. This is 2013, and he's messaging me on Facebook. I went to high school with him, and he says, "Hey, man, me and my girlfriend are homeless. She needs insulin. Can you give me $90?" Right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck yeah, sure." So I send him $90, wire it, and I was really naive. And he comes back to me. He's like, "Look, our insurance card that gives us, the state of Ohio card that gives us a discount, they're not accepting it at the pharmacy. We need $50 more." So I give it to him. And then he asked for more after that. And I stopped, whatever. I was just like, nope, I'm not answering. So I stopped answering his messages.
Yeah.
And then 2-3 months later, someone sends me an article, and the fucker gets arrested for robbing houses. And he was a heroin addict.
Yeah. That painkiller shit, it's really annoying to me because, like, I've never read anything contradictory to that, like, painkillers are the number one fuck up for drugs. But when you think of, like, drugs in the United States, like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, we're talking about things like, this is another one where I get frustrated, like, about fucking, like, marijuana. Like, holy shit. Like, for me personally, I don't smoke, and honestly, I don't think I even like very many smokers. Like, fucking people that smoke weed a lot are really fucking annoying to me. And in high school, they were literally the most annoying fucking no, I don't want to say worthless, but fuck, I hate fucking potheads. But like when we talk about like drug problems in the United States, the fact that for some reason it seems like so many people like don't really, I guess it's getting a little bit more coverage as of recently, but like I've never heard like a politician talk about like we need to talk about drugs in the United States. These opiates are fucking with people. It's always like fucking marijuana and pot and shit. It's like, dog, are you fucking serious? Like,
yeah. I think Baltimore's kind of they're having to come to Jesus because the heroin. I had no idea, by the way. I had no idea about this, but I didn't really pay attention to local politics. Mm-hmm. But apparently, there's a huge and I assume it's because it's a port and whatever. But Baltimore has a big heroin problem.
Oh yeah, obviously I know all about it. I watched all 5 seasons of The Wire, dog.
I've never seen it. Apparently, I need to.
It's a really good. It's a really good show. It's really really good. Maybe in the military too, you would have a different perspective. You might like it even more or hate it even more.
There are a lot of military shows I fucking hate because I was in the military.
Well, it's not. Well, like this one is. I don't mean you'd like it because it has to do with police. Like this is it's a pretty. I don't know. I'm really jaded, but I think it's a pretty realistic way of showing how systems work and how systems perpetuate themselves and how people that try to buck the systems get fucked by the systems, even if they have good intentions. Like it's like a really interesting analysis on that. I don't mean like it's super realistic or whatever, but
yeah.
I mean, I guess it is pretty realistic. A lot of people have said it is.